Hello. Today we're going to check out the 1995 Jeep Cherokee SE. The Jeep Cherokee was a unit body SUV that was introduced in 1984 by Jeep, which was owned at the time by American Motors Corporation. The Cherokee was a little different from all the other ones because of the fact that it was a unit body construction as opposed to body and frame, which most SUVs at that time were, like the Bronco 2 now, and their full-size Bronco. And it was also unique in the fact that it was available with 4 doors, which the Bronco 2 was not, and neither was the S10 Blazer until several years afterwards. And of course the Bronco and the full-size Blazer also were not available with 4 doors. Now this 1995 example is fine. It's got 208,000 miles on it. Done quite well for itself, surprisingly. This particular model is the base model, the SE. You had the SE, and you had the Sport, and you also had the Jeep Cherokee Country. Of course, it doesn't say SE on it, but it is the base model. It's rather a little bit more unique because it's around here. It's a little harder to find the 2-door version of any Cherokee. This particular one is green with a nice tan interior. Nice tan interior. Also comes with these 15-inch wheels. Reminiscent of the old Firebird wheel a little bit. And these are not the stock tires. These are 235 75 R15s. They're good for your Wranglers. They were on the vehicle when I purchased it. I believe the stock size was like a 205 or 215 or something like that. Of course, this is a 4x4. There are 2-wheel drive versions, but I don't suggest buying one. It's useless. And more evidence of the wonderful state I live in, Pennsylvania, is the fact that the bumper is pretty well rusted completely out. But it passed inspection just 6 months ago, so I guess it ain't that big of a deal. Thankfully, there's no rust on the rockers here or up in the fenders. But the floors are basically wasted. But the inspection's still good for until November, so I don't have to worry about it. And typical late 80s, early 90s, the water-based paint. GM owners know this quite well, as the clear coat is pretty much peeling off. But I can't blame it, because it has a lot of miles on it. Yes, it does have fog lights here, but unfortunately they are not connected due to a wiring issue. So a previous owner, from the one I purchased, then the owner I purchased it from, did not wire them very well, so they were disconnected. Don't need any fires. So it's got a little nicks in the windshield right here and there, but thankfully it's not causing any issues, so I don't have to worry about that. Let's check out the interior. It's all the creaks. Yes, manual windows, manual door locks, as you can see right here. There's a door lock right there. That's where your power windows would be if it came with them, which this particular version did not. And they did not option for that. Manual adjusting mirrors. Now in here, we have your very minimalist gauge cluster. You got your gas gauge, and you also have your speedometer. And then you have idiot lights for your oil pressure, battery, and of course your water temperature. Over here would be some other idiot lights. I believe this one is your low washer fluid. I'm not quite sure what the other ones are. They haven't turned on. So, of course, interesting option. This came with a rear window defroster, as well as rear wipers. Rear wiper. Cigarette lighter, your basic heater controls, temp here, your setting, your zones, and of course your fan speed. Now, everyone knows here since this vehicle is getting quite up in age, they want to keep a better eye on the temperature gauge. So the previous owner added an aftermarket one. Works quite well. Of course, this is an automatic, 4-speed, automatic, with Jeep's famous and very well worked out four-wheel drive system, shift on the fly as you're moving, which was relatively rare at the time period when this Cherokee originally came out in 1984. Most of them you had to stop and put in four-wheel drive, and even some of most trucks, you had to stop, go out and turn the things on the hubs, and then put it four-wheel drive to make sure it's on four-wheel drive. This particular one also has cup holders. I believe this is an aftermarket. Just don't know why I stayed too well, and plus they worked too well with the e-brake. There is no radio in this, unfortunately. I do have a spare radio. I just haven't put it in yet. Nice little compartment right here. Hold things, and your regular glove box right there. Up here we have just your visors. This was added, obviously. Light doesn't work. Battery's probably dead. Manual rear view mirror dimming. Doesn't work very well, but hey, can't complain. This was also the first year for the Jeep Cherokee to have a driver's side airbag. Does not have a passenger side, of course. This was a previous owner added item. I guess the armrest fell off. There's a better shot of the armrest. The seat covers, also came with the vehicle. Alright, that's the kind of work I do. It gets very dirty, so. There's what the seats look like underneath. Just try to help protect them. Of course, manual adjusting seats. Right there. The lever's right there, and under here is the lever for your tilting. There's a two-door, a little cramped back there. It's not too bad though. So, and this particular one came with a roof rack, and the spare tire is right there. And there is the badge for the 4-liter high output, which I'll explain in just a moment. Amazingly, the struts for the back still work, and there's no rust. Well, a little bit of rust around here, but it's only surface rust. Not that big of a deal. Back here, we got a pretty spacious back area here, storage area. There's your spare tire. Unfortunately, is a 50 miles at 55 mile an hour tires, so it's not particularly useful. Especially with the fact that this doesn't have stock size tires on it anymore. There's floor mats that were in it, but when there you go, a little compartment here. Not quite sure what the hell that's for, but you got some tie downs down here and over here, right there. It must not be used very often. So, not too bad. You got a rear speaker back here, and over on the other side. So the 1995 Jeep Cherokee this particular 95 Jeep Cherokee came with a 4-liter inline, that's straight 6-cylinder. As you can see right there. Surprisingly in pretty good shape, pretty clean too, considering a year. And proof that it was a 4-liter. But yes, the high output 4-liter came out, I think, in '92 or '93. And what they did is they, as part of Chrysler's whole deal with the Magnum engines, with the Magnums like the 3.9 liter, the 318 and 360, is that they did some modifications to make them a little more powerful, therefore a little more competitive. So they decided they would do it with the Cherokee as well. So they added a little bit better performing heads, which bumped the horsepower up to 193 horsepower and 225 foot-pounds of torque, which in a vehicle that weighs 3,048 pounds, the thing moves pretty decently. So you can't complain about that. To give you an example, my previous vehicle, my 1995 Dodge Dakota V6 with the 3.9 liter, also made 190 horsepower, but the truck weighed nearly 1,500 pounds more, so it couldn't get out of its own damn way. Thankfully, that thing unfortunately died. Transmission gave up. Surprisingly, this is all original driveline, original body. Everything else like that's pretty all original. I mean, tires are different. The rims are the originals. They're actually gold, or were gold at one point. If you look right here, they're really corroded and crusty and beat, so to speak. So. Let's start her up with a nice little key here. Sounds pretty good, especially considering the mileage it has on it. Give you guys a closer look to that. That's 208,045 miles. 0.5. So, it's got some miles on it, but it actually runs very good. The hole right there was for the fog light switch. Like I said before, it's currently disconnected because of electrical issues. So, and you got your little handle up there to help you get in, handle back there with a coat hook. Don't know why you need that. Got a cup holder back there. No ashtrays. The ashtray is right there. So, the Cherokee ran from 1984 to 2001. It was part of the reason that Chrysler purchased AMC because of the popularity of the Cherokee. And the later replacement, the vehicle that was supposed to replace it, which was the Jeep Grand Cherokee. However, because of the Cherokee's continuing popularity, Chrysler, even though AMC actually originally designed the Grand Cherokee, Chrysler decided to keep the Cherokee and sell them side by side, which unfortunately Chrysler eventually discontinued the Cherokee in 2001. The 4-liter continued on, I believe, a little bit for another year or so, but unfortunately, new emissions regulations caused that engine's demise. The engine itself actually dates back to the 1950s, if you can believe that, as the 252. Later, it was continuously tweaked and modified and stuff like that, but it was pretty much the same basic architecture and same basic principle engine. And it's a very popular, very durable engine. It definitely it's got a decent amount of power. It lasts forever, as you can tell here, since the only thing anybody's ever done with this is really change oil and stuff like that. So surprisingly, these engines last forever. This is actually my second Cherokee. I had a 1989 Cherokee 4-door. Unfortunately, a deer collided with it. I hit a deer with it. The deer's head went through the radiator here and pushed this whole bumper assembly back into the tire. Back in the tire here, and I repaired it, but I still had issues and things of that nature. So I ended up trading it in. That particular one I paid a whopping $800 for. This one I got from a friend of my dad's who was upgrading to a newer Grand Cherokee, and he wanted to get rid of this. So I bought it for a whopping $500. I'm good that way sometimes. Here's your gas cap right there. But yeah, so this is only a temporary vehicle. Waiting for my Camaro, which you've seen in other videos, to get out of the inspection shop. Fortunately, they're not in the biggest rush in the world, so I picked this up to cruise around. Now, I would be driving my Dakota, but like I said before, the transmission gave up on that, and it was either buy a new transmission for a truck that already had numerous issues, or get rid of the truck, use some of that money to buy a Cherokee, buy this, and not worry about it. So, I picked the latter. So the Dodge is now in the junkyard, unfortunately, and also, unfortunately, I never got a video for it, but it was a 95 as well, but it had 140,000 miles on it, and the transmission gave up. It was starting to go bad when I got it. It wasn't that bad. I babied it for about 2 years, but I also had oil pressure problems, which the 318s are well known. 318 and 5.9, which my Dakota had in it, was the 5.9, are well known for their oil pressure issues. Chrysler messed up on the oil passages on the Magnum ones. I haven't heard anything about the 360s. I've never had a problem with 318s, but the 3.9 apparently is the one that is very susceptible to oil pressure issues. So I had actually lost oil pressure in it once before, not long after I bought it. Fixed it and stuff like that, but the oil pressure was never the same since. It was always low. So I wasn't going to rebuild the engine because, well, let's just face it, you can buy a V8 Dakota for about the same price as a V6, and you get about the same mileage. Well, maybe a little better with the V8 because you got more power. So this Cherokee is only temporary. After the Camaro returns from the garage, fortunately, with my current work situation, I am not able to work on it at home. I don't have the time. So I will be eventually, when the Camaro returns, I will, of course, post a new video of that, of it running in perfect condition, because right now it's not. So, well, there you go. And there's the video for a 1995 Jeep Cherokee 4x4 two-door SE model with an automatic.